What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with our Tales of the Rays video. So, we have the producer's letter to go over. This is producer's letter 80.99. Kind of funny. There's no picture at the top or anything either, which is kind of funny. But there's a reason for it, obviously. It's because it's a very short producer's letter. But we'll go over why it's so short here in a minute. Obviously, it's related to what I talked about before in the PV video, where this is only for the recollection event that the PV was specifically for the recollection finale, and we will get another PV later in the month. And they kind of hint at what we're going to be getting next in here, so let's go over it. So, sorry for the continued announcement of the special edition. Recollection is completed on the 7th anniversary. Basically, as it's a big milestone, they made a special PV for it. Along with this, we've been recollecting for about a year. So yeah, Recollection was released. The Recollection mode itself was released during the 6th anniversary. So it was really, I guess it really was only meant to be like a year-long thing. It was just supposed to be like a small little extra story. The story of Ix and his friends and the main part of the Rays is concluded. In terms of extra dungeon, it is similar to the previous Tales of series. So they're talking about like, okay, in most Tales games, there is the EX dungeon, so to speak, in every game, and there's a little bit of extra story that goes along with it. This is supposed to be comparable to that. The story of Recollection Kodama. It's a story that should last only a little longer. Crossing past, present, and future, mutual justice collides. For those who have been following the story, who are planning to proceed, even once it's completed. There's no doubt your heart will be touched by the fully voiced ending. That's the nice thing about Recollection, is that it has been fully voiced. So that's pretty cool. My whole thought process with this is, I don't know if it was originally intended to be a short story, or if they had originally planned for it to be much longer, but, maybe sales just aren't big enough to continue doing a fully voiced main story. But we'll talk more about that later. Actually, we'll talk about it right here, because this episode of Preparing Tales of the Rays, the main story is all complete. Thank you very much for the past 7 years. So they're saying no more main story after this. This is going to be it. From now on, it will continue as an interlude story. Don't worry, you can enjoy the event story, which they're basically saying, obviously this is all Google translated, so what they're basically saying is there's going to be no more main story, so the recollection mode itself will no longer get updated once the story is concluded, but there's still tons of content in there. If you haven't been doing it every day, you have tons of stuff to do in there. What they're saying is, moving forward for the rest of the game's lifespan, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, however long the Rays is still going to continue for, the story will continue in the events. So the events for every month will just continue there. And I'm sure they're still going to do recollection events. Because recollection Mirage Arts are basically just normal Mirage Arts, but giving the characters who get the recollection Mirage Arts a different element that you're used to seeing from them. Plus, they get a special weapon with their recollection 5-star that they get. So, moving forward from here on, once the story concludes, in this month or next month or whatever, all the remaining story for this game is just going to be through events. Now, I was talking to some people last night, and there is some stuff that they did, I don't want to say promised us, but they talked about wanting to do. There are still some stories that need to be voiced and stuff like that. Plus, we also don't know, are they going to fully voice Fairy's Requiem and Last Cradle, all that kind of stuff. It's really hard to say at this point, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. So, April distribution schedule, recollection completion event, Elnat is going to be playable, and then Baldur and Seiros are getting a crossover Mirage Art, and then Kodama, excuse me, jeez, Kodama is getting an ending Mirage Art. Last part of the story, Elnat will be participating in a long-awaited event. Elnat wants to save the world in a different way than Kodama and the others. Okay, cool. When used in the final battle, Kodama's line makes me cry. And then lastly, thank you for the 7th anniversary. For El Asteria, to participate since she lives with Zillia 2's L. Very cool. Yeah, it's obviously nice to have her playable in the game. During production, the scenario team and battle team were extremely careful to avoid creating strange parts. So they really wanted L to play in the way that they thought fans would be happy with. Judging from everyone's reactions, I'm glad you were happy with it. We were able to participate in the Raise, which is based on the original IF theme. While an afterglow of an event remains, we're also putting a lot of effort into creating a final event for the recollection. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so they're basically saying this event is going to be very good. Also, of course, April doesn't end there. After this, we'll release a participation PV around mid-April, so please look forward to it. And this is where they're going to hint to us what we're getting. Speaking of spring, cherry blossoms, the blessing of the mountains, entrance ceremony, bread. Speaking of bread, we will send you with many more such as. So what they're essentially alluding to here is cherry blossom kind of event. So that could be school, that could be a school themed thing, because that's what they usually do with like cherry blossoms, is it's, you know, returning to school kind of stuff. So I expect a school themed event, but they're also putting a lot of emphasis on bread. And the main character that a lot of people are thinking of, myself included, is Mimi Baker from Tales of Legendia. So this could be her participation debut, which would be wild. I have no idea, because she would technically be the first Wonder Chef character for us to get in the game. So it'll be very interesting if we are getting Mimi, how she's going to play. I would love if her weapon is actually bread, like if they find a way to make that work, but odds are they'll probably just give her utensils and stuff like that. It'll still be fun, but I would love if she just fights with bread. And then obviously her mirror jar would have to be bread related. So right now that's what we're leaning towards. We're leaning towards, you know, school-themed event with Mimi Baker probably being the character to be added, but we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, new event starts tomorrow night for Kodama and the others, and then probably in about a week we'll get a PV for the rest of the month. There'll still be 2 more events to cover, because we'll get an event here on the 20th, and then we'll get an event. How many days are in April? There are 30 days in April, so then we'll get another event on the 30th. So I'm leaning less towards there being a collab and more towards they really just wanted, this is like the extra part of the 7th anniversary. So technically the anniversary isn't over yet, which technically, since that's the case, I hope the event shop has like another like ending mirror jar ticket or something fun like that. Speaking of which, I did use my ending mirror jar ticket from the final event, and I did actually get, farming out the 7 million points, I was able to get Kokis's ending mirror jar, which I'm pretty happy about because it's one I didn't have. I'm still hoping to at one point get Lloyd or Yuri's, but we'll see when that happens. So that's gonna be it, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Don't forget to subscribe more if you're new to the channel. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.